So, emotional eating, most people would define it as well, I eat my feelings, I eat when I'm sad, I eat when I'm bored, I graze. And that's all very true. What emotions are you soothing when you eat? The most common is eating your feelings. Now, you might say, oh, well, yeah, when I'm sad. But this also includes eating when you're happy. In fact, eating when you're happy can be a bigger problem than eating when you're sad. So, emotional eating, eating when you're sad, something terrible happens, you lose someone, you get fired from a job, you have a breakup. So many times the response is, I'm just going to eat my feelings. We feel justified to eat really decadent things to make ourselves feel better. What that does in the moment is it distracts from the emotional pain by giving your taste buds something pleasant. And it also is a little bit of a reward, like I have control over food all the time. And this is the perfect excuse for me to just go rogue, to rebel a little bit. And people will totally back you up on this. That's one of the problems with emotional eating is people can commiserate to say, oh my gosh, you're in a breakup. I'm coming over with Ben and Jerry's and pizza. It's a lovely gesture. But now we have a breakup and we've gained 5 pounds. And guess what? At some point, we have to deal with that. So that's a very common. Now, the other side of that joy, something really great happened. I got a promotion. Let's go out and celebrate. Margaritas, tacos, or let's go out and have ice cream. So now we're excited about the new thing, and we've had this lovely experience of also tasting good things. Why do we need to add pleasure to pleasure? Why isn't the joy enough on its own? When you go to a ball game to cheer on your favorite team, why do we need to have beer and pretzels with cheese and nachos? Why do we add highly palatable foods to already joyful occasions? Most of the time, it's just a habit. We've connected these things in our brain so much that we can't imagine doing that joyful thing without also having the accompanied food. A birthday party. Can't tell you how many times I've been invited to a birthday party, and my first thought was, I wonder what kind of cake there will be. Or when I've held a birthday party for myself, my 40th birthday party, it was a donut buffet. I couldn't imagine celebrating my birthday without my favorite treat, donuts. Now, it's not evil and terrible to do this. This is just part of our society. Food can be fun and joyful. The problem is when we've connected them so deeply that we cannot enjoy life without those foods, and we cannot sit with our feelings without distracting with food. That's the problem with emotional eating. Stress eating. If you're stressed out, you've got a deadline. All of a sudden, instead of sitting down and focusing, just so stressed out, we feel this pressure. So what happens? We order a pizza, or we go check and see if there's anything in the refrigerator that would taste good, that would take our minds off of the stress. Stress eating is one of the biggest complaints I hear from people who work the typical 9 to 5 or have a high pressure job. I get busy in the afternoon. I start to wonder if I'm going to get everything done. And I find myself in the break room and I'm just grabbing granola bars and cookies and just stuffing something in my face. And I get so mad at myself later when I realize I'm not even hungry for dinner because I ate all of this junk food. Why do we do this? It's because we're not willing to sit with the unpleasant feeling. And there's an idea that the food is going to make it better. But now you have a deadline. Now you've wasted time having the food. And now you might have gained 5 pounds. I'm saying 5 pounds with an exaggeration. But the bottom line is that food that you put in your body has to be dealt with. This is why emotional eating is the reason why people stay stuck on diet roller coasters. Boredom, grazing. So many people work a really busy week or have a really, really busy week taking care of kids and driving around, or even if that's not applicable to you, I'm an entrepreneur, I work from the home. But on the weekend, when I have a little bit of time, it's this idea of pressure's off, take the release valve off. I'm going to just stay at home, laze around, and eat things I normally wouldn't eat. Why do we do that? We're bored because we're not in the routine. We're happily bored because we're resting. And all of a sudden, we want to add to that joy of relaxation with food. And it's really because often we're bored. Or airplane eating. There's so much food consumed on an airplane. Why? Are people really going to die of starvation on that little trip? No, it's called boredom. Boredom eating in the car. I used to have a pattern where I had a 20-minute commute, that's it. But I couldn't bear to just drive home not eating something. So I always grabbed something to eat on the way home. And finally, I realized, why am I doing this? When I get home for dinner, now I'm not hungry and I've wasted, it's always junk food. Why am I doing that? I was bored, bored in the car. So, these reasons for emotional eating, I'm sure some of those resonate with you. It's important to know which one is the most important, which one trips you up the most, so that you can get in front of it right away. And I'm going to be talking about strategies for all of these things later on in the course. What's important right now is for you to identify what's your emotional eating trigger. Take notes, write it down, think of all the situations that it affects you so that you can deal with it directly as we go through.